brought to you by wellnessplus.tv and made possible by the generous donations of Psychetruth Patreon supporters.
Well, hello again. This is Athena Jezik, and I appreciate all of you tuning in, making comments, and getting new ideas about what you can do in your life to feel better. So today we've got Lucy on the table. She has a little bit of soreness in turning her head. So we're going to see what we can do with that. It's right along here, but it's on the other side. So I'll be sure to show you what I'm doing. First of all, I'm just feeling the position of everything, where the bones are being placed. If there's anything that feels unusually out of place, the skull bone up into the cranial base, just feeling how tight that attachment area is. And it feels like there's a little swelling on her left side where she's got that issue. So it could probably be something like a little strain. But we really don't know. What we know is it doesn't feel good. So we can call it whatever we want to. Okay. Then also feeling down into the shoulders, just to check how tight the muscles are here. I'm going along the bone at the attachments. Close into it anyway. And the shoulders, all of that. And feeling into the shoulder blades coming into the back this way. And kind of curling the fingers under, but not pushing really. Letting the weight of the body be the lifting force instead of the pushing upward. It's like holding it more, and then you can do alternate, or you can do it at the same time, and you might notice, like what I'm noticing is on the right side, there's a little bit more tension about mid-scapula. It could be one of the rhomboid muscles. Just gonna hold and kind of let that unwind. Again, you're not putting a lot of pressure in there. You're just feeling and following any tissue pattern that's happening. And then when you feel it soften a little more, then you can move up, change positions, and go to just a little ways above it. This takes a lot of time to do it right. You have to take your time, I should say, with this. And it doesn't always take a lot of physical time, but you have to take your time with this and not get rushed. Because sometimes the body just needs to take time to trust itself to relax, which is why the deeper a person goes into relaxation, where their mind is changing into a theta or delta state, where they're basically unconscious on the table, but they're really not. the deeper they go, the more the body will be able to speak to your hands. So if you're in this for the work, if you're a therapist or somebody interested in this for the work, learning how to get the hands to communicate with the body is a pretty important piece to the puzzle. It would just make your work be more efficient in the long run. And just trust what you're getting. And that takes a lot of time to develop. Now what I'm doing here is I'm slowly just stretching up, and Lucy let me know if anything is going into a bad pain pattern. If it's like hurt so good, then that's okay. And we're doing the same thing on the other side. Just stretching the muscle upward. Letting that head bend and feeling it. There's a little rough spot getting into the cranial base on that side that she's feeling. And so here's how it goes. My finger is just riding up there. And I'm in the belly part of the muscle. A very fleshy part. And up, this is a smooth, much smoother. There was a little rough spot about in here on the other side. Okay. I'm going to do a cranial base release and see if we can get it a little bit more undone. But it is relaxing down, it's softening. And she's sinking in. Now, when the head comes down, it should be a little bit tilted back. And if you're doing this, what you want to do is very gently hold that occipital base, the occiput, and lengthen that. See how the chin comes down? It's that same postural position that one of the other videos shows. It's that up and back sense of how the neck and head is supposed to go. And when you're working the neck, it's a good idea to try to maintain or check into that particular posture. A good way to do that is to just hold with your fingers here and then line up. Be sure that the head is lined up with the center of the body so the plumb line is there. And then you just gently pull upward and up and back on that occiput. So it's kind of a feeling like that, but you have to meld in first. You want to meld in deeply into that bone through the tissue. And you can place your other hand up on top if you want to. You might feel some cranial bone changes, but just barely touch the head. And then maintain that stretch, but go slow at it. Don't pull it like yank. Instead, you want to just slowly let it stretch as it's willing to do it, not forcing it. So you can just hold it there and let it come up. So when you're working on the neck, you do want to always remember the plumb line. Now, just doing that and lengthening her, she's corrected a little, and so where she was is a little more corrected. Because this was the side that was hurting, it tended to be a little shorter, the swelling, and now it's come up a little bit, so she's more on plumb, and I'm going to continue to kind of lengthen that neck. My fingers are probably not really stuck into here's the occipital ridge, right here. And my fingers are more below it because I'm also melding to the tissue and pulling that tissue upward. This is a little more dramatic than it is, but you're just really pushing the fascial, pulling the fascial level upward. And then on the knuckle part of the finger, you rest that on the bone, and then that is the part that you're pulling with the bone. So you're getting both soft tissue and bone kind of readjustments. Well, I don't want to use that word, repositioning. And then, and this is just to hold the head, because sometimes it's kind of hard to hold. It depends. Sometimes people's heads are really heavy, and that usually means that they're not very mobile. And there, I can feel the stretch now. It's opening even more. So when you start to do that, the other place that you can check for necks is in the front of the neck, which isn't addressed very often. If you're going to go to the side, keep an eye on that alignment. In fact, I'm going to come out of that position and come to the side here and put my fingers underneath. You can probably see them over there, with the index finger right along that base where we were just at, but you want to be touching the bone with the edge of the index finger, and then the rest of the fingers fall along the vertebrae. With that index finger, you also want to pull it, give it a little nudge sort of feeling upward to maintain that posture, so you're holding those tissues up long like that, because the tendency oftentimes, because of our own postures, we want to thrust the neck forward. So you're just holding the posture there. You don't have to hold it tight, but just be a little bit more pressured on that index finger up there. Okay, and then now we're going to go to the hyoid bone, and we're going to just place our fingers on the hyoid bone. And now here what you do is you kind of, there's not the right words. You connect with the hyoid bone. You want to go through the energetics of it. You feel it more energetically if you have that kind of feel. Otherwise, you'll feel it also subtly, very subtly. So there's two ways you can feel it. When you feel it subtly, that's good. That's really where you want to feel it. But be aware that there's also an energetic connection. Now, what happens a lot of times here, if you pay close attention, and I felt it a couple times, this hyoid bone was changing position a little bit. It's a floater bone, so it's all attached with muscles. It was changing position enough to where I was feeling things shifting in my hand. One at the index finger, and one at kind of farther down the neck where my ring finger and long finger are. And so there was a little shift. So that shows that something has shifted in there that has been wound up with this tight neck. The other place you can check on the neck is the thyroid, where it's a little bit placed a little wider out there, and you want to be very gentle here. Some people don't like their necks messed with, but I find that most people are okay the way that I work it. And so this one, you just kind of a puffy kind of feeling, and you can move it around up and down. And then, so there's kind of a movement up and down. You can move it back and forth. And you notice that it's just the things underneath that throat that are moving. Okay, you can then, so you've got it up and down, then opposite, and back and forth this way, and both up and down, and then you can pull it kind of upward. But you want to be real gentle. And then check the hyoid again to see what's happening there. And focus in on your backhand as well. And see what's going on. And it feels like it's not much going on, so that means that it's corrected as far as it's going to correct, at least in that area. Now this is probably really different than a lot of people have worked the neck. And the other part that you want to check is you want to check the sphenoid bone where the sphenobasilar junction is. So we'll just check that. This is something that you need cranial-sacral work for. So if you're just a massage therapist, you know, don't worry about this part. You'll be fine. It's just that knowing this part of it, you can align that sphenobasilar junction, which is pretty vital for alignment to be maintained. And that was pretty far out, actually. It's what it's doing right now is it's torsioning over to the left quite a bit. And now it's coming back on balance. It had a little bit of side bending going on as well. Now it's coming back into balance here. And then just wait for the rhythm. You don't have to really do like a cranial thing. I just let the bone balance. Now when I feel the rhythm, I can feel it in the temporal bone and back into the occiput on the right side. So something else is balancing as well. It's very interesting stuff when you get your hands into it because there's so much movement going on. There's so many things that the body is saying, plus visually it'll also tell you things. So you want to always keep your eyes open when you're working so that you see any signals that the body might be giving. Sometimes it'll be a quiver, sometimes it'll be a jump. And we'll see what happens here. And we'll check, let's see what I'm feeling. It seems much more pliable. Now we're going to go the direction that was the tender direction. So that's my advanced neck work. Thank you for watching. This is Athena Jezik.
Introducing Yoga Plus, offering a free series every month with over 300 different videos. Take control of your health. Work out anytime, anywhere. Yoga Plus. Download now for free.